Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 27th day of March 2023. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope that you're safe and healthy and that your family is also safe and healthy and that all of you together had a good weekend. And blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who, even over the weekend, are saving lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks, parks free of trash and clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People who are also the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on all those who profit from it. And double curses on all the perverts that create the industry. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children without a roof over their head right now in the United States, mostly their children. And there are millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. A basketball game is scheduled tonight. The New York Knicks are scheduled to play against the Houston Rockets in Madison Square Garden tonight at 7:30. Right now, as we sit, the New York Knicks are in the 5th seed. They are 2 games ahead of both Brooklyn and Miami, who are battling for the 6th seed, as well as the 5th seed. There are 7 games left in the season. The Knicks are 42-33. I'm expecting the Knicks to finish again at least 45 wins, probably around 47. I'm going to say between 45 and 47 right now. Brooklyn last night lost to Orlando. Orlando actually beat the Knicks and the Nets on their little homestand. They had 3-game homestand. They were 3-0. Orlando, is a lottery team, but they're a very much improving team. Going forward, I expect big things out of them going next year. Matter of fact, that brings me to the Houston Rockets. Let's talk about tanking. Let's talk about tanking. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers were kind of the kings of tanking for a number of years. And what they would do is play a lot of players that either were not really NBA level players or just the lowest talented NBA level players, play them heavy minutes, and that would lose. The team would lose because they weren't as talented as regular NBA players. It played a lot of G League level players, for fact, and they would lose so that they can get high lottery picks. They did this for a number of years. They ended up with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They ended up with, they had Nerlens Noel, they had Jahlil Okafor. They had a number of high draft picks that they were getting because of their tanking. And at the end of all of the dust, when the dust settled, they ended up with Joel Embiid, really, from that effort, and Ben Simmons, who they have since traded. The NBA looked badly on that, and so you're not allowed to do that anymore. Does that mean teams don't tank? No, teams still tank. But how you tank legally in the NBA is you play all of your young players. They might be very talented, but in the NBA, it takes talent, but it takes more than talent. You have to have, well, first of all, it's a marathon. So you got an 82-game marathon to deal with. Then there's a lot of nuances, footwork nuances, positioning nuances, tricks to the trade, grabbing, holding nuances that you get away with, that people do in the NBA that have been doing it for years. Now, the veterans, they don't not only know these nuances cold, they know how to do them, whereas the young players are learning these nuances, and then learning them, implementing them takes a little while. And that's why you get young players more often in foul trouble. They more often get beat on defense. They're more often confused because it takes them time to learn these nuances. You could even know what they are, but putting them into practice still takes a couple of seasons. So what happens in that case, Houston Rockets being an example, what happens in that case is they end up losing a lot of games while they're learning. And so the team is still collecting high level draft assets while still playing their inexperienced young players, and they're learning. And so for the Houston Rockets, at this point, they're dealing with, Jabari Smith at 19, Alperen Sengun at 20, Josh Christopher, 21, Tari Eason, 21, Usman Garuba, 21, Jalen Green, 21, Deshaun Nix, 21, Ty Washington, 21, Kenya Martin Jr., 22, Kevin Porter Jr., 22. These guys are all learning. They're all extremely talented athletes, but they're learning the NBA game, the marathon of it, the nuances of footwork, of defense, of angles. They're learning the speed at which they have to get their shots off, which is different from when they were in college or the G League or high school. There's a lot of long-term learning in the NBA. So they're very talented, but because they don't know these things, they're losing, okay? And they're going to be in the lottery again. That doesn't mean they're trying to lose. It means that they're in the process of learning, and in that process, they lose, okay? Again, on any given night, any NBA team can beat any other NBA team because of the talent level and because it's a marathon and because fatigue sets in on every team, and then you have injuries and so on and so forth. So Houston right now is coming into the Garden having lost 5 straight. But they're going to be young guys hyped to play at Madison Square Garden. So they're going to be looking to win. They always are looking to win. That's the difference between the Philly style tanking and tanking today. These young guys want to beat you, and they have enough talent to beat you. Just that they're still learning how to win in the NBA. And again, it takes a few seasons to learn how to do that. Once they start to learn how to win and they start to realize, or everybody in the organization realizes these are really keepers in terms of NBA level players, and they're really learning the nuances of the game. You bring in veterans that know the nuances of the game, hopefully veterans that have won before, to teach them further how to win in the NBA with all that talent they have. So right now, they had some vets, but they traded off, their vets, because now they're really focused on their young guys. They're going to try to get high-level lottery pick, because this year, as you know, Victor Wembanyama is available. Scoot is out there. And then the Amen brothers are out there. Amen Thompson brothers are out there. Amen and Asor. So they can add this to their roster. They really do need Kevin Porter Jr. is a tremendous talent. But they do need a full-time point guard. Kevin Porter Jr. is more like a guard. He's just a guard. He could play shooting guard or point guard. They got Jalen Green at the point guard. But they got DJ Augustine, for example, as their veteran. They need a couple of veterans. They're nowhere near playoff contention right now. But my point is they can beat the Knicks because they got the talent. And they're coming into Madison Square Garden having lost 5 straight. Madison Square Garden is generally that little springboard to help teams coming in get their act together. Okay. At the same time, though, the Knicks are the better team. Okay. They're the better team because we have guys that know how to win. We have guys that are learning the nuances of the game. They're way farther ahead than Houston in this respect. Even though some of the guys on the Knicks are the same age, like R.J. Barrett's the same age as some of these guys on Houston. He's been playing with veteran players for his 4 years and playing under the microscope and under the glare of Madison Square Garden, which is one of the heaviest jerseys to wear in all of pro sports. So that's different, see? Then you do have veterans like a Jalen Brunson that know what they're doing out there, okay? So that's why the Knicks are the better team. They're 5th in the East. So this game boils down to the Knicks using Houston to practice their playoff execution. Okay, can't take them lightly. Got to do your playoff execution here. These young boys are going to want to show out in Madison Square Garden. They're going to want to beat you. Okay, they only got 18 wins in the season, but we have been here before where we had these type of trap games and lost them. Okay, this is not the one you want to lose. Okay, you're the better team. You have to execute as the better team. Show the veteran leadership. Show that you know the nuances quickly, even though he's young. He knows the nuances of the game. Okay, being this is his third season. Okay, Mitchell Robinson has learned the nuances of the game in one of the toughest positions. The two toughest positions to learn in the NBA are the center position and point guard position. And Mitchell Robinson has picked up the defensive nuances, the calling out of the plays on defense and the footwork on defense and everything he needs defensively. And that's why he's the anchor of the defense. He's way ahead of Sengun, who's very talented, but young. Okay? So this should be, I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy game for the Knicks. It's not. These young boys can play. They are all talented. Kevin Porter could play. Jalen Green could play. Jabari Smith, obviously. Sengun, I just mentioned. And then Kenyon Martin Jr. always tries to show out against the Knicks. Kenyon Martin Jr. Okay? So then they got Tyree Eason, who I love coming off the bench. I would love to have him on our team. He is what I thought Cam Reddish was supposed to be. Him and Benedict Mathurin. Okay, these guys really come out and do their thing. So Josh Christopher, Jashawn Tate. I'm not that high on Garuba, but these guys are all talented. Okay, so Garuba is like, I don't know. He's kind of like what's that? I was watching a game the other night. There's another cat from the continent, and he had, he's past his prime right now, but he had, I forgot his name, but he is, Garuba's a baby level of him, really, about the same size and everything. So I'm not that high on him, but the rest of them are very high on. They're very talented young guys. Ty Washington, again, I'm not that high on him. I was definitely not for the Knicks picking him this last draft, as everybody was hyping him. It was overhyped. But he could play a little bit, and so he's an NBA player. So they're all going to try to prove themselves tonight. So Brunson's got to be ready. IQ's got to be ready. Mitch Rob's got to be ready. And, of course, our problem child, Julius Randle, has got to be ready today, okay, because we're going to need him coming down the stretch. We have to understand the mental episodes that we have with Julius Randle are just that. They're episodes. Some people want to act like it's a continuous thing. It's not a continuous thing. He doesn't do that every game. In fact, I think I can count on one hand the number of times he's acted like that this year, if less than 5. Much better than last year. So I'm looking for him to have a bounce back mental game today. Be under control in terms of his mental, to not argue with the referees. And, that way his game will follow when that happens. So I'm hoping that that's the case. So this is a good game for the Knicks to get right, execute, run their plays, get their defense together, make themselves tight and ready for the stretch run of this season and the playoffs. So let's hope they do that tonight. As far as injuries, I think they have Jalen Brunson listed as questionable. Let's see. They have him listed as day-to-day with his right hand. So I don't know what that means in terms of how bad his injury is. To be quite frankly honest with you, the Knicks are good running with IQ. And Tom needs to play Deuce more minutes. I would use this time to let Jalen's hand heal and whatever else he's got going on, let it heal so that he'll be ready, especially Wednesday against Miami. Okay, we need that. But I wouldn't try to push him back against Houston unless he's healthy. If he's healthy and ready to play, as Tom says, if he's ready to go, he goes. And so if he's ready to play, he's going to play. Tom leaves that up to the vets like a Brunson. Brunson decides if he's going to play or not. Okay, so if he's ready, he should play. If not, he should sit and wait till, we play Miami on Wednesday. That's a bigger game. IQ can handle the business. And if Tom gets smart and plays Deuce McBride 15 to 20 minutes, we'll win this game. Okay, so anyway, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. Tonight at 7:30 at MSG. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Anyway, y'all enjoy your Monday. Here we go down the stretch. Shalom.